This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Owandi. Today I have a special guest with me. Her name is Vanessa. You probably heard her voice before. She was on I think it was episode 8, the LGBT episode. She gave a quick little introduction of this place called Mud Lab. That's where we're located right now, doing this episode. I wanted to have her on to talk about her life and being a business owner and her company, Mud Lab. She also has another company I wanted her to talk about too. I'll let her talk about that. But Vanessa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell us about Mud Lab. What is this place that we're in?
Yeah, so a lot of people come in and they're like, what is it? It is a bit confusing, but basically we are the manifestation of a nonprofit that I started with a few friends called For Here Please. And the mission of For Here Please is to help businesses reduce their single-use plastics.
It's called For Her Please?
For Here Please.
For Here Please.
Common misconception. No.
Who created that name?
We came up with the name with one of our neighbors named JC, and he also helped us get our website started. He works for a nonprofit, I think, called Bridge Care. But basically, For Here Please just references, like, not always being in a rush. Like, when you go to a restaurant, just requesting your food and eating it there versus getting it to go in a disposable container.
Wait. So you're saying people should eat all the food when they order at the restaurant?
We're just trying to get people to slow down, and we think that one of the kind of effects of slowing down is that we do things a little bit more thoughtfully and a little bit more sustainably. And when you do get your food at a restaurant and you eat it slower and you sit and enjoy it, you also don't use disposable plastics usually. So, slow down, get to know your neighbors, talk to people around you. Don't be in a rush all the time. And then, just like live a little bit closer in harmony with the planet. So that's how we got started. And then it sort of bridged into Mud Lab, which is a space where we hope to give people tools to do that as well. So
let's stay on For Her, please.
For Here,
For
please.
Here, please. So how long were you doing that? Was it a physical store, or was it just like a website or something to give information?
Yeah, so For Here Please started out when we approached Perch Coffee House on Grand, and we said, hey, would you guys consider getting rid of all of your disposable plastic cups and also all of your disposable paper cups and having only reusables? And Perch, they took a chance on us and they said, okay, you're just getting started, but let's try it. And so now Perch is actually the only cafe in Oakland that does not have disposables of any kind. If you forget your reusable mug and you need your drink to go, they sell you a jar for about $1. And then when you bring the jar back, you get a 25-cent discount.
Okay. Shout out to Perch. Where's Perch located?
Perch is at 440 Grand. And they've done a lot of work to educate people about where trash ends up in Oakland. It turns out that some of the storm drains in Oakland empty into Lake Merritt, which is why sometimes when you're walking the lake, you might see trash floating in the lake because the storm drains are emptying into it.
Okay, so you were doing that, and then it became Mud Lab?
Yeah, I realized that I needed a space to kind of start talking to people about For Here Please, and kind of just a headquarters in order to, have trainings for young people. We do book launches. We do podcasts sometimes. But it's just nice to have a physical space in order to kind of spread the ideas that we developed with For Here Please.
So how did you find this space?
Google.
Okay.
I was just like, you know what? I really love Temescal, and I had lived here for a couple of years before finding this space, but it's also on a busy corner, and it's a corner where people who usually pass by are almost always in a rush, right? Because they're either in a rush to get to BART to go to work, or they're in a rush to get home.
Yeah.
And so we thought it would be interesting to say, hey, like, here we are on this busy corner, and you're in a rush to get to work, or you're in a rush to get home, but we're asking you to slow down, and we're asking you to consider your actions and maybe to do things a little bit differently the next time you leave your house.
All right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty and talk about your life. Where are you from?
I'm from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Rural Wisconsin.
Like where?
I'm from a very small town called Lake Mills, and it's about 30 minutes outside of Madison.
Were you like the only black child?
Me and my brother, yeah. We were the only, well, there might have been one other family of color in the town, but yeah, I definitely grew up with a majority Caucasian people.
Your mom is white and your dad is black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were pretty bold to move into a small town as an interracial couple. They definitely have told me stories about encountering racism in the Midwest. But at the same time, like, Lake Mills is a wonderful town, and I feel like I was really welcomed with open arms by many people. I remember my best friend in elementary school was like, Vanessa, before I met you, I thought all black people talked the same. And I just remember
Did you slap her?
No, she's still a great friend. But I just remember being like, yeah, like, if you grow up in the Midwest and you never meet anybody different than you, you just assume everything's like it is on TV. And I think TV, unfortunately, sometimes reinforces really negative stereotypes, or not even negative stereotypes, but just stereotypes that aren't representative of all people.
So you enjoyed growing up there?
I did. Well, it's a bucolic. It's like a very nice little town on a lake.
Are your parents still living there?
Yeah, my dad lives there. He's actually out here in California for a few months just for the winter, but yeah, he still lives there. My mom died a couple of years ago.
Okay. So, when did you leave Wisconsin?
I left Wisconsin in 2003 for college, moved to Boston. Then
Another racist place.
Yeah. Then lived in Los Angeles for a little while, then lived in France, then moved to New York, then moved to Somalia, then moved to Princeton, New Jersey, and then moved here.
What college did you go to in Boston?
I went to Harvard.
Yeah. All right. What'd you study?
I studied film production, which is sort of random, but I loved it, and I made a lot of great films. Well, I thought they were great. I made a lot of like short little anthropological documentaries in college.
Can you name one?
I made a film about a man who makes pickles, and I made a film about a band called Daniel Striped Tiger, and then I made a film about a relationship in France.
Can anyone see these films anywhere?
These films are not widely distributed. They are more kind of just basically on old DVDs under my bed, probably.
You ever thought about like putting them out to the world?
Honestly, I wouldn't even know how. I've fallen very behind in technology. I have them, right? They're on like mini VHS tape, like tiny little tapes that I don't have the converters for or anything anymore.
Yeah, I have some of those tapes too.
Right?
Like in 2006 and shit.
And what do you do with them? You're like,
I mean, they're just sitting in my cabinet right now.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what were you like in college?
I was a bit of a lush. I partied a lot. I thought it was really fun. I still did quite a bit of volunteer work, so I think that's been something that's always with me. I like walked dogs to a nursing home and tutored children at a local school. I think volunteer work has always been me. But yeah, I ran a lot. I had like little dinner parties with my friends.
Okay.
Just sort of a normal college kid.
And then you graduated when?
I graduated in 2007.
With a master's, PhD, what?
Oh, no, just a bachelor's. And then I didn't go back to grad school until 2015. And my master's degree is in education administration. I was a teacher for about 8 years.
What did you move to France for?
I moved to France because I was dating someone at the time who was French.
I knew it. I knew that shit.
I've always been a romantic.
So you were following all these places you were moving to. You were following somebody.
Actually, that's not true. The only time that I moved for love was to France, and then all my other moves were because of like work or I always had an interest in living in Africa, being half African American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you meet the guy in America and then move to France, or you met him in France and then came to America and then went back?
We met when I was studying abroad in France.
Okay.
We met at a bar. Classic. An American bar.
Yeah.
I guess he was trying to meet an American.
I guess so. And what happened?
He's a lovely person. I think he was like a French person. No, an American person born into a French body. Like when he got to the United States, he was like, "This is my place," right? Like.
So you brought him to the United States?
Yeah, yeah. He now has citizenship. He lives in LA. He's happy as a clam here.
You guys got married?
We did. I got married when I was 22.
Damn. To him?
Yeah. I'm divorced.
Okay. And so that's how he's a citizen?
Yeah. Okay. Isn't that nice how that works?
Yeah.
Yeah. Married.
Did you guys break up like as soon as he came back? Did you start noticing changes in the relationship as soon as you guys came back to the States?
You know, it was one of those relationships. So he's still dear friends with my dad. He visited my mom when she was dying. Like he's a dear friend of the family because we kind of grew up together. Like we text all the time. We're gonna like have a shared vacation in a few weeks. Like we grew up together, but we also grew apart. And I think that's what happens sometimes when you're in a long-term relationship.
So you guys are still sleeping together?
No.
If you're going on vacation together, you're going to sleep together.
I mean, I'm going to bring my new boyfriend.
What?
Yeah, and he's going to bring his new girlfriend who looks just like me, which is weird.
Why are you guys going on vacation together?
Because he wants to see my dad because they're still friends, and I want to see my dad because he's my dad.
You don't think that's weird?
I mean, there's all kinds of different families in the world.
What if he's like, let's swing?
I don't think he would do that.
But what if he says that?
I would say no. I'm not a swinger. I've thought about it, but it's just not in me.
Okay, so you told me that you used to own a house or loft or whatever. Mm-hmm. Was that the guy you owned it with?
No. That was my fiance.
So you okay? So.
Yeah, I think I'm a serial monogamist. I've had like.
You don't like being single, huh?
I don't. Although I did write a book about dating, but no, I don't like being single. So I dated someone for 4 years, then I dated someone for 5 years, then 3. My relationships keep getting shorter. But my last one was my fiance. We bought a house together. Things didn't work out, unfortunately, but we were only actually together for like a year and a half. Yeah, and that was actually quite close to Mud Lab, just like about a mile from here.
So you fall in love like really fast?
I fall in love like on the first or second date. I'm just very susceptible to love. I think I see the good in people, and that's the problem.
Are you in love with your boyfriend now?
I shouldn't probably say that on the podcast because he might be listening. We've only known each other a week.
What?
I
week?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That should be an easy answer. No, I'm not in love with him. Okay. It's been a week.
But love can happen very quickly, I think.
Are you in love with me?
No.
Okay. See how easy that was?
Well, we're not dating.
All right. So, damn, a week and you're already going on family vacations?
I mean...
You need to take your own advice and slow down and come into Mud Lab.
I know. I need to take my own advice. Yeah, that is actually one thing that I grapple with all the time. So I do things really quickly, but then I do some things really slowly. And I think that was the point of my book. It was like learn how to do things that you can do quickly, so that you can do things that you need to do slowly, carefully.
So what was the name of this book?
15-minute First Dates.
15-minute First Dates? Uh-huh. Where can people find this?
I have a copy here at the store.
Oh, yeah? One copy?
Well, I sold the rest. Hold on.
Oh, nice. It's like an actual book.
It's like an actual book. It's a physical book. It's also available on Kindle if you want to save some paper. I think it's free on Kindle. Really? I don't know how. Yeah,
you wrote this whole thing?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that's impressive.
Thank you.
Who published it?
I published it myself. Self-published.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you written a book?
Hell, no.
Why not?
I don't know.
You should write a book.
About, I don't know. I don't know what to write a book about.
Well, mine is about efficiency because I like to be efficient, but it's also about dating, but it's also about sustainability.
I do write poems, and I wanted to publish a book about with all my poems in it.
Oh my gosh, I would love to have your launch here at the store if you'd like.
Well, I would love for you to publish it.
I mean, I'm not a publisher.
You published the book, so you're a publisher.
I published it on Amazon. I'm happy to teach you how to self-publish on Amazon. It's
sure.
very easy. Yeah, it's straightforward. Just upload it.
Okay. All right, so how did you get into...
Do I get to ask you questions about you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No one asks me questions on this. Everyone wants to, but I shut it down real quick.
I think that would be a fun episode, though, right? Like the reverse, where someone interviews
Yeah,
you.
it probably would, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's going to happen.
Maybe
What would
next
you
week.
want to ask?
I mean, I want to know, like, all the questions that you're asking me.
Okay, yeah, no.
Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Nope. What else? So, Mud Lab. Okay, so you came... When did you come to Oakland?
2016. I drove out of New Jersey in a blizzard. I almost died. Arrived here. Immediately started dating someone. But yeah, and then I taught at Castlemont. You know Castlemont?
Yeah, I
Taught at
graduated from Castlemont.
What? Oh, crazy. Yeah, I taught there for about 4 years.
When?
2016.
Oh, yeah, I was gone by then.
Yeah. It's a great school.
What were you teaching?
I was teaching English to students from Central and South America.
At Castlemont?
Yeah, the newcomers. So kids who'd recently crossed the border.
Is Castlemont even a high school now?
Yes, it is.
It's still?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I mean, ish. Yeah.
Because last time I checked, there was like 8th graders and
Oh.
shit there also.
No, it's just a high school. It's back to being just a high school. It's a great school.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I only did 1 year, my senior year, and I loved it.
Yeah, there's a real laissez-faire attitude. Like, if you don't want to be in class, you don't really have to be in class, which I think, you know, some people, it makes them feel uncomfortable, but it's like, it really gives kids the freedom to just like explore free will.
Yeah, I had some of my favorite teachers there. Miss Flanagan, she was do you know her? Yeah, she was a history teacher, and she was my favorite teacher I've ever had. Also, I stood out at Castlemont because I was from the East Coast, so I was like
Where are you from?
I was the only kid walking around with Timbs and shit. Philadelphia.
You brought Tim's to the West Coast. That was you.
Yeah, I walked the graduation stage with Timbs and jeans. Everyone was like in slacks and shit. But anyway,
I once bought a pair of Tim's because of a rap song. You know that song about the baby blue Timbs?
no.
Yeah, well, there's a song about baby blue Timberlands, and I like turned around and like bought a pair and thought I was so cool.
Who raps that song?
I don't even know. I was like a high school kid. I was like, I'm gonna be so cool.
All right, so this is your passion, like teaching and all that.
Yeah, I do love to teach. I love talking to people about sustainability.
Why do you think sustainability is so important?
I mean, I think sustainability can be thought of in a lot of different ways. I think, you know, if we want to have a future on the planet, it's kind of important for us to kind of come together and do things in better ways.
So how do you feel about this administration rolling back everything that Obama did?
Yeah.
As far as like green energy, all the projects and all that.
That's been really upsetting. If you turn around just right over your left shoulder, you'll see our next campaign here at Mud Lab is to make November 3rd a national holiday. So I was meeting with some people from the Bernie Sanders campaign and some people from Patagonia a few weeks ago about possibly getting that going. But basically, there's a bunch of different initiatives to do this, and one of the ideas that we have is to put a banner up on the front of Mud Lab that says, you know, make November 3rd a national holiday, to encourage businesses to just say, you know, we're making this choice. It's important to vote. We want everyone to have the time and, you know, energy to vote. So November 3rd.
What's going on November 3rd?
Well, that's election day.
Oh.
Yeah, so you will be paid, and we want you to go vote because disenfranchisement is such a problem. And so how can we like come together as businesses and make sure that everybody votes? Because it's so important.
Yeah. Do you think voting for the president is more important than voting for like local people?
Oh, no, I think they're both important.
Which one do you think is more important? Do you think the president affects your day-to-day life more than like your city councilman or your mayor or anything?
I mean, it's difficult to say what affects day-to-day life, right? Because I think some actions can be so wide influencing, right? Like if Donald Trump decides to roll back environmental protections, like that might not impact my day to day, but it's going to impact like the world around me in such significant ways. So I think both are important. You can't have one without the other.
Who are you voting for?
In the next election?
Yes.
I mean, I haven't decided yet. I'd like to vote for a candidate who represents my values.
And is there anyone out there right now that does?
A lot of the Democratic candidates I really enjoy.
You don't have one specific that you like?
I think in order of preference, Elizabeth Warren, Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
How about you?
No Joe Biden?
Not this time.
Me, I don't really... I still want Oprah to get in.
Oh, Oprah would be great. What, did she decide not to run?
Yeah, she been decided.
You know, I played with, for a little bit, the idea of running for president because I'm going to turn 35 in time. But my friends shut that down. They're like, nobody knows you.
Who gives a fuck?
I was like, but wouldn't that be cool? Like the youngest female African-American president ever.
Yeah, why not?
Right? Yeah.
You want to hear something funny? Is I wanted to run for mayor of Oakland, right?
Oh, you'd be a great mayor.
And this that's my nickname. They call me the mayor because a lot of people, random people, you know how the mayor like walks around the streets and then like everyone waves to him like, hey, mayor. Like random people wave to me when I'm walking around. Police officers, cooks, like people just wave to me out of the blue for some reason. So like they gave me the nickname the mayor because a lot of people
That's awesome.
know me for whatever reason. But this last election, I went in the voting booth, and then when it came to vote for the mayor, I wrote my own name down and voted for myself.
That's great. So you already have some votes.
Yeah, I had one vote. I documented it too on social media. It was funny.
So this
is
is
random.
Yeah, so this is another idea that we were playing with. What if everybody just voted for themselves for president? Then what would happen? Like, what if everybody in the entire country wrote themselves? Then would the power be given back to the people? Like, it's kind of a wild idea, but like there is a write-in category.
Because there'll be that one person who
convinces someone else to vote for them.
So everyone will have one vote, and then that random one person will have two votes, and he'll win.
I just think it would be so cool if everyone just voted for themselves.
Yeah, but that shit would never happen. And even if that did happen, I still think...
You're the president.
Yes, I'm the fucking president. But
it's like that Aloe Black song, I'm the man. I'm the man.
So you're into politics?
I'm into politics in that I think the politicians should represent the will of the people, and I do think the will of the people is more progressive than our current political parties would indicate.
Yeah, I don't think... honestly, I think all politicians are liars. They because first of all, nobody in Congress, I'm talking about absolutely no one, knows what the average person actually really goes through. You can't. So until someone gets elected, that like an ordinary person like you or me or someone gets elected in Congress who actually knows, oh, this person is living paycheck to paycheck, so they have to decide whether to pay their internet so they can search for jobs, or pay their phone or so they can call and receive phone calls for a job, or shit like that. Like no one actually knows about like struggles like people go through. And until someone actually gets elected who actually goes through those struggles or like literally knows it firsthand, I don't think shit would change in Congress. Because first of all, you have all these old white people who are rich, who've been rich, who don't know shit about. They're just going like, oh, schools should get money, but what schools? Like this school, like Castlemont, for example. How come Castlemont doesn't get money, but these schools in Piedmont get all this money, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you would never know that unless you are like down in the trenches and seeing it firsthand. So that's my view on politics. So I don't really... I was passionate about Barack Obama when he was... because, he was black. I literally only voted for Barack Obama because he was black. I don't give a fuck what he was saying. The fact that he was black, I voted for him, and I'm not ashamed of saying that shit.
He's a good person too, though.
Yeah, he's a good person, but even he didn't do enough as he should for black people.
I think it's impossible to do everything, though, right? Because there is an aspect of compromise in politics. Like, if you don't compromise, then you'll accomplish nothing.
But imagine if you were the first woman president ever.
I would just do everything.
But if you were the first woman, like, let's think about this. If you were the first woman president ever in history, do you think that your main priority is to uplift and do things for women? Since you were like the first, if every single woman in America voted for you and you're like the first, shouldn't that be on your first agenda? Like, what can I do to change, to make sure women get paid the same as men? Or what can I do to make sure they have the right to like have an abortion if they want to? Like, that should be my main goal.
I think women's rights are important, and for the first female president, that will probably be high on her agenda. However, like, I think the people who need the most advocacy are those who don't, like you were saying, who are struggling so much that they can't advocate for themselves. And I think there are plenty of women in America who don't need anyone to advocate for them. They're fine. They're advocating for themselves. They're powerful. They've got money. So I think uplifting people without power would probably, for me anyway, be a higher priority than uplifting any particular gender.
Okay. So, where do you find all this stuff that you get for Mud Lab? Like donations?
Many of the books were donated. Some of them were bought from a literary salon called the Octopus Lounge. A lot of the furniture is from a company called Bay Area Redwood that processes redwood trees and other kinds of wood that are going to be removed from people's yards. And then we work with a lot of farmers market vendors for our shelf-stable food items. And then everything else, we had a woman who is like closing down her online zero waste business, and so she sold us some of our wares. A lot of the things in the store currently are gifts that were given to me by various people.
Okay. And nothing is wasted?
Well, we have our trash sorted into 8 different bins in the back. So we have paper, recycling, landfill, compost, batteries, plastic bags, and a couple other categories. And we tried, I think, sorting trash with the current state of our infrastructure is the most important thing so that things don't get cross-contaminated. Obviously, zero waste is the goal, but low waste is the reality.
And where do you get all this bread from?
The bread is from a company called Community Grains, and they are incredible. They also provide our pasta and will eventually provide flour and polenta as well. But they invest in farmers who are interested in protecting soil health. So farmers who use no-till methods, regenerative agriculture, crop rotation, all organic farmers, all within about 100 miles. And they have a very unique process in that their wheat is whole milled, whole grain. So it preserves all 3 parts of the wheat kernel. So it's really, really healthy. And we feel blessed right now. We have some overage of pasta, so we're going to be donating pasta to a few different neighborhood groups who feed people who are experiencing homelessness. And also we might donate some to the Berkeley Food Bank. But we have quite a bit of pasta on hand right now. I won't tell you exactly how many pounds, but we have some extra pasta.
So people can just come in and be like, "Oh, I want some pasta," and get it for free?
Yes, they can. We encourage people to bring their own reusable containers because that's kind of what Mud Lab is all about, right? How to teach people to remember their reusables. So if you bring a reusable container, you can get as much pasta as you can carry.
Yeah. What else can you get for free out here?
There's a free box of books outside every day. I give away free bread every day. I bake bread.
So you make bread as well?
Yeah, I make bread.
Do you make bread at the bakery where you get this from?
I sometimes will bake off Community Grains bread, and that bread, obviously we pay for, but the bread that I bake at my house is all sourdough whole wheat as well. I grew up baking. It's relaxing.
Is it? Sometimes. What else can you bake? Like cakes and shit?
Pies.
Do you smoke?
Smoke what?
Weed.
No.
Yeah.
Although,
you smoke cigarettes?
We're exploring a partnership with a weed farmer to create weed flour.
Weed
like
flour?
a couple years down the road. Yeah, we'd love to CBD flour for home bakers to use.
You ever ate an edible before?
Yes, and it was a terrible, terrible experience. It was once in my entire life. Never again.
What happened?
Well, I had a triple strength pot brownie, and so I was like hallucinating for 2 days. I was throwing up. I thought that like the words coming out of my mouth weren't English. Like I kept going up to people and being like, "Can you understand what I'm saying?" It was really bad.
Yeah.
So I swore off edibles for life after that.
Okay.
Do you smoke?
No, I don't. I never even tried it, actually.
Oh god, good
Which
for
is
you.
weird, yeah. I'm sure you drank, right?
Although the person that I'm dating right now is sober, and there's a new bar in town that doesn't serve drinks. Like I feel myself going more and more that way.
A bar that doesn't serve drinks?
Yeah, it's like a pop-up. It's called Busy's. It's a pop-up at Black Spring Coffee, and they don't serve alcohol. It's like
What do they serve?
They serve drinks that aren't alcoholic. I think it's just brilliant because it's like socializing, but not having to have the hangover in the morning.
Ah.
Yeah,
And where's this?
it's down on Telegraph. Yep.
Busy bar?
Busy's.
Busy's.
Bizzy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bar to go to?
In Oakland? Mm-hmm. I really like Make Westing. The owner there is a friend of mine, great person. I like 389. I found this new bar on Telegraph called Northlight that I like. I like beer a lot, so Temescal Brewing is a friend of mine who started it, Sam, and I think they have a great vibe there.
Yeah.
Drake's. Ale Industries, I love. The people at Ale Industries have been really helpful hosting meetups. So we do sustainable meetups once a week, and they've been really generous with their space.
So you're very good at networking, I'm assuming.
I network a fair amount,
Okay.
but I don't know. I think networking is just another word for like partnership building. Like someone came into MudLab the other day and he worked at the airport, and I was like, "Oh, so you must fly for free?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Man, you need to you need to work on your networking, because if I was at the airport."
What does he do at the airport? He probably works selling like newspapers or something. That doesn't mean you can fly for free.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, bring some loaves of bread around to the ticket agents, because there are empty seats on flights. Is all
Hi,
I'm
I work
saying.
at McDonald's at the airport. Can I fly to fucking Texas for free? I don't think so.
Some people fly for free a lot.
Yeah, if you actually work for the airline.
Yeah,
You're
it's
like
true.
a
It's true.
baggage handler or a pilot or something. Nice. All right, so who is this guy that you keep mentioning? What's his name?
Am I allowed to say names?
Yeah, you're allowed to. You're supposed to say names on this podcast.
Let's just call him.
Yeah, you got to tell the truth to the
Okay.
fans.
Okay, his name's Greg.
Greg? Greg what?
I'm not going to say his last name, just in case he would like privacy.
He's white?
He is.
Have you ever dated a black guy before?
Yes.
I'm just checking.
I've dated almost every ethnicity.
You have a preference?
I have a preference for people who like me. Yeah. That's
So
what I usually go with.
anyone who shows you attention, you gravitate toward?
Anyone who shows me attention. People who I like who also like me. That's like kind of my, yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
Do you guys have an open relationship?
Well, we just started dating last week, so.
It's official, like boyfriend and girlfriend, or you just
No. We're just.
So you can go on dates with other guys then?
I mean, I don't plan to go on dates with other guys, but I guess I could. I mean, we haven't had the talk yet.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah. You can.
Okay. Well, I have no time to go on dates with other guys.
Yeah.
I'm like too busy. But
So how often do you work at, is for Here Please like non-existent anymore? It's just MudLab?
For Here Please operates out of MudLab, so I guess when I'm doing one, I'm doing both. Yeah.
Okay. And when was MudLab created?
December.
2019?
Yeah.
Okay. And when was Her Please? For Here Please?
I think you're just enjoying saying that wrong. Okay. August.
August.
About August,
2019.
Yeah. So it's all relatively new. These were all sort of like, so I went through this sort of bad breakup in June. And then I think, what some people do when they go through breakups is they just become workaholics. And that's kind of what I did. So I was working like 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, just like pouring myself into my work, because it was the only thing that distracted me from like sort of this like grief that I was going through about this relationship that didn't work out. But so it allowed me to get a lot done in a short amount of time, I think.
So are you still a workaholic?
Yes, but less so. Like, for instance, today I'm taking a few hours off to see a friend. which normally I wouldn't do. But my friendships I found were really
a few hours off.
Yeah.
Okay. You are a workaholic.
Yeah.
What are you guys up to?
Who?
You and your friend.
Oh, I don't know. I think we're probably gonna get a coffee. Yeah.
Okay. So when you are not at Mud Lab, you're still working, basically. You're still like trying to set up meetings and like get donations and all that.
You know, I take some time off to go to the banya from time to time. I run every day.
What's the banya?
The banya, the Russian spa. It's like the
I've
sauna.
never heard of it.
Oh, you
like
should.
hot springs or something?
It's called Archimedes. It's in San Francisco. It's pretty incredible.
Okay.
And
Sounds expensive.
It's not that expensive. It's a wonderful place because you can't be on your cell phone for 3 hours, so you really have these genuine interactions with people. And also, it's clothing optional, so you get to see naked bodies, which is like sort of eye-opening. And
do you get naked?
I don't. I wear a swimsuit.
Oh.
I'm a little bit bashful.
My God. All right. So it's just basically like a bunch of old men with saggy balls.
Oh, no. It's all ages,
Oh.
except for kids.
Okay. Are you like the only one in the bathing suit?
No, there's quite a few people who choose to wear bathing suits.
Okay, that's cool. What's the name of this place again?
Archimedes.
Archimedes.
Yeah, it's
Check it out.
in the Bayview, I think. It's very nice. I highly recommend it.
So what is your, you said you have a brother?
I have a brother, yep.
Where is he?
He's in jail right now.
What's he in jail for?
I have no idea. He has.
You have no idea why your brother's in jail?
No. So I've been trying to get in touch with him, but the prison has this like terrible phone system.
So he's in prison, not jail.
Prison jail. The jail has this terrible phone system where like I put $50 credit on his phone card, but then he is using the phone incorrectly according to the operator, so he can't get through to me. So I want to talk to him about why he's in jail, but I haven't been able to talk to him.
You didn't ask your parents? Or your dad?
So he can't call anybody because he's using the phone incorrectly, and so the operator told me I should write him a postcard to tell him how to use the prison phone, the jail phone.
How are you going to tell him how to use it?
I know, and I was like, I don't know how to use it. I'm out of state. Like, it's just a terrible, terrible system.
He's locked up in Wisconsin?
In Wisconsin, yeah.
He just recently went to jail?
Yeah, and I think he's.
You know the difference between jail and prison, right?
I do, yeah. I think it's just
so he's in jail.
I think he's just in jail, yeah. But it's only a 21-day hold, according to his social worker. So hopefully, yeah.
Does he have a history of like being locked up?
Yeah, he's bipolar and schizophrenic, and so I think it's hard for him to just sort of.
So jail is not where he should be.
Actually, it's a good place for him because he's also an addict, and so.
No, they should put him in like I mean, if you're gonna get locked up, they should lock him up in a place where you get help, not jail. Jail's gonna make you worse.
At the same time, it's 3 square meals a day. It's a break from drugs and alcohol. Like, I think it's better than being out on the street.
Yeah, when I went to Wisconsin, I can see. I went to Madison, Wisconsin before, and I can see why people do drugs out there because it's like, like literally nothing to do.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And it was like the widest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like literally the widest shit ever. They were looking at my hair like they never seen fucking dreadlocks before. I was like, shit. So yeah, that was funny. That was an experience. Where else have you traveled to? What's your favorite place you ever been?
Somalia.
How was that?
It was amazing. It was the best year of my life.
You spent a year there? For?
I was teaching at a boarding school there.
Oh, okay. Teaching what, English?
English and geography. And I was learning alongside the kids with geography. We learned all of the...
You were teaching African geography?
I was teaching African geography.
And you never been nowhere in Africa?
I mean, I had been to a couple different places. But we had maps and we had each other and we learned the 53 countries. We learned them.
They were teaching you. You're like, oh, Ghana's over here. And they were like, no, it's not. It's right here.
It was definitely a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just the teaching made it fun, or just like the
kids made it fun. The kids were incredibly hardworking. Almost all of them spoke 3 languages. Just generous, thoughtful, kind. I remember one day I was walking and one of the students said, "Miss, that headscarf that you're wearing is really old," and I was like, okay, thanks. And it like made me smile, and they were like, we just wanted to see you smile. Like they just like had this like playfulness. I mean, they were just wonderful. Some traumatic things that happened there, but you know,
let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, so they had a baby goat on the campus, and then one day the baby goat wasn't there anymore. And for me, like, that was really hard.
People got to eat, right?
Yeah, but like I was just like, I had seen this baby goat be born and like raised.
That was the most traumatic thing in living in Somalia for you?
See, everybody asked that. They're like, oh, like, wasn't it dangerous?
No violence or anything?
I didn't see any violence. It's a very peaceful, well, the place where I was, Somaliland, which is in the north part of the country. It's a breakaway republic, very peaceful. We had guards with us at all times who were wonderful and protective of us, but they didn't really even need to be because we really didn't encounter a lot of animosity.
Was it, how can I say this? Was it like modern? Was it like buildings and electricity, running water and all that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's less amenities. Like, it was hard to get hot water. The water would run out sometimes. We had a break in the afternoon every day without electricity. The Wi-Fi was sort of spotty. But in some ways, they're more advanced, right? Like, they have this system of payment called ZAD, and everybody in the country has it. And it's kind of like how Venmo is ubiquitous now. Every single person in the country has it, right? So it's like you buy something from a roadside stand and you just ZAD each other, and nobody carries cash because it's just all on the phone system, which is really efficient. So some efficiencies. When I first went to Somalia, I thought it would be oppressive to have to wear the head wrap and the long skirts and the long...
You have to wear that?
Yeah, we're expected to, but I found it actually quite liberating. So I woke up in the morning, just wore the same thing every day, like never worried about my hair, never worried about like my body, never worried about like other people looking at my body.
You didn't take it the way like, oh, these people are telling women how to dress?
No, I just found it super liberating and very comfortable, like a big baggy dress every day.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, like, it's nice to have the choice. Like, it was nice coming back and having the choice, but I found that when I came back, I think I was more modest in how I dressed, because there is something to be said for, like, preserving parts of your body just for your family, right? And, like, that's how my students and I always, that's how they always explained it to me. I was like, well, why do you choose to wear that when you're in the States? You know, you don't have to. And they're like, you know what? Like, this is a choice that I've made to, like, this, you know, my hair is something that just my family sees. And, like, I thought that was just sort of nice.
Were you dressing provocative before you went to Somalia?
I mean, I dressed like a normal Westerner, right? Like, I, you know, would wear low-cut shirts from time to time. I would wear tight pants from time to time. But there, it's like nothing tight, nothing low-cut, nothing, you know.
Even when you're off work?
In Somalia?
Yeah, like when you go to the clubs in Somalia.
There's no clubs in Somalia. It's a dry country.
Are there any bars? No bars,
no
nothing?
No bars, no alcohol.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What are the men like there?
Unfortunately, the country is, there's this drug called khat. Sometimes it's pronounced chat. And a lot of the men in the country spend a lot of time chewing it, and it makes your teeth fall out, and it encourages people to just kind of sit around and chew it. It's a stimulant. I don't know. Unfortunately, it led to a lot of problems in the society there, the same way that alcohol, I think, does here. Yeah.
So did you go that whole year without having sex with anyone?
No, I had a boyfriend there. Another American who actually lives like a block from here.
What?
Yeah, he's still a friend.
Was he a teacher too?
He was a teacher too, yeah. He's a great guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how did you end up getting that job there?
Idealist, which is great.
What's Idealist?
Idealist.org. It's a just an online platform. Just found it. Yeah, just applied. And then they sent me a plane ticket.
Is it for like all teaching jobs or something? Like if you want to teach overseas somewhere?
It has overseas teaching jobs. It has all kinds of different jobs. I mean, if you're looking for a job in like the nonprofit sector or to do quote unquote good in the world, I guess Idealist is the place to go.
So you applied and they just sent you a plane ticket saying, okay.
Well, first they interviewed me a couple times and then they sent me a plane ticket. Yeah. I mean, it was a volunteer position, right? So I wasn't being paid.
At all?
No. I mean, there was like a stipend which covered basically, you know, like toothpaste and phone cards.
So how were you able to eat and all that stuff?
Oh, I mean, room and board included, obviously. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was a year contract?
It was a year contract. We had this amazing chef named Nimmo, and she would make us, she had a menu. It was the same food every day. So we had 5 vegetables, and she worked miracles with these vegetables.
I would die if I can't eat no vegetables every day.
We also had some meat, but it was the same 5 meals. So Monday was pizza, Tuesday was lentils, Wednesday was burrito. Like, you know, it was like the same. And then Friday night was hamburger night. It was really exciting.
How was the pizza there?
The pizza was great, but it didn't really have cheese on it because they don't really have cheese there. So the refrigeration is a tough thing. So it had like this like canned cream cheese on it.
Is that the only place you worked overseas?
I also lived in France for a couple of years, and I taught English to stockbrokers in Paris.
How was that?
That was an experience.
I love Paris.
Yeah.
Did you love living there?
I loved Paris, yeah. Except for it was quite expensive, and I was like broke at the time. So I think I ate a lot of just junk food for that reason. Yeah.
So where in Paris were you living?
I was living near Port Royal in the 15th.
Okay.
Near Garden de Luxembourg. Yeah, beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah. I think that whole city is beautiful. Like everywhere you can just walk around. Every building is like history.
You look very French. Has anyone ever told you that?
No.
Okay. In France, people would be asking you for directions all the time.
They didn't ask me
Monsieur.
for shit. When I was in Paris, they knew. I mean, when you're in Paris, there's a lot of black people out there, but they're all African, and you can tell who's an African French person and an African American.
Yes, you can.
You can always tell that. And when I was walking around, they knew I was an African American. They knew I wasn't a French African. And I remember I was in that subway system they have is like the worst.
Oh.
It's like so complicated.
Le métro?
I don't fucking know. It's
pretty good.
You know the Paris, that little subway, it's like an ant. You know how ant farms, there's like tunnels within tunnels and all that shit. That shit is so confusing. I got through it because I was with someone who lives in Paris, so they were like taking me around. But
it's color coordinated at least.
Even that's confusing. And nothing's in English, so you're like, what the fuck, where the fuck? It's so easy to get lost. But I remember when I was there, I was seeing these African kids being harassed by the cops. And so I walked by, and they didn't say shit to me because they knew I was American. So, but they were fucking with them because they knew that they were like French Africans.
That's frustrating. Yeah, there's quite a bit of racism in France, unfortunately. And there's some high tensions between the immigrant populations and the natives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a beautiful... Did you ever go to London while you were living out there?
Yeah, I was actually just in London like a month ago. One of our vendors for Mud Lab is in London. They're working on a mycelium replacement for cups. So a mushroom that eats paper cups and turns them into a reusable material. There are these French people in London.
What?
They're cool. They're cold Blast.
A mushroom that eats paper cups?
Yeah, so basically we want to set up collection stations at a few different cafes and collect paper cups, right? Cafes that don't have dishwashers, for instance. And then we take those paper cups, and instead of going to a landfill, we'll turn them into a reusable cup that we will then sell back to people so that they have a reusable cup, is the idea.
Have you ever worked with like a scientist or anything to create something?
We're not working with a scientist, but we're working with an engineer right now on a reusable pizza box. And that's pretty exciting. A pizza entrepreneur came in earlier today who might pilot the reusable pizza box. It's an aluminum box, but just trying to figure out, you know how in the past they had milk jugs delivered and then you would like put your empties outside? So we kind of want to have that model where you have one pizza box at your home and one pizza box at the shop, and then you just exchange them whenever you order your pizza.
Oh, so you basically have to order the pizza from that specific person.
Well, it also builds brand, loyalty. I mean, hopefully there's going to eventually be a network of pizza places with these boxes.
You can't be at home, call Domino's, and be like, yo, I want to order a pizza. And then they have to come to your house, get your box, then go back to the store, put it in a pizza, and then come back to your house. Ideally,
it'll start with one pizza place, and then it'll be like all pizza places. So then you can just interchange, and the pizza boxes will be sort of ubiquitous.
I mean, I can see that happening. Why pizza, though?
Because it creates a tremendous amount of waste, right? You use a pizza box for 15 minutes, and it's this huge piece of cardboard that then goes to... I mean, I think they're compostable in some places, but not in others.
Okay. Do you know how to make recycled paper?
Recycled paper? Like just chopping it up and...
Yeah, I guess. Do you know how to make recycled paper?
No. I leave that to the professionals. I know how to sort my trash.
So what are you currently working on in Oakland?
Well, so we're working on the November 3rd National Holiday Campaign. Mm-hmm. We're working on the pizza boxes, and then we're still trying to get a couple more cafes to give up their disposable cups. But I think the biggest thing is just, being here as a resource for people in the neighborhood who want to go zero waste and, giving them the tools. When we order something in bulk, for instance, our toothpaste tablets, we're able to offer them at affordable prices. So we really want to make sustainability and zero waste affordable to people, because if it's not easy and it's not affordable, people won't do it. And so we think that this community buying model, where we buy in big quantities, can maybe make things accessible.
So when you send out these shopping lists or these grocery lists, do you base it off of how many people email you back on what to order, or you just order and then you see what you can give away? We
only order what's been demanded by the mailing list. So I'll send an email Monday, Tuesday, mm-hmm. and then we'll do our orders Wednesday, Thursday for delivery the next Monday, Tuesday.
And this is each time is different stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it changes a little bit. The pasta obviously is shelf stable, so we have some extra of that on hand. Mm-hmm. The honey is shelf stable. The shelf stable things we order extra of because it's cheaper to order in bigger quantities. But for instance, the bread, we only order based on what people actually want.
So do you ever get milk and cereal and all that stuff?
We don't have our health permitting set up yet for refrigerated items, but we hope to by this summer, because we'd love to do that, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So how do people get on this mailing list?
They can sign up on the website, or they can email me at vanessa@forhereplease.com.
What's the website?
The website is forhereplease.com, yeah.
Does Mud Lab have a website?
No, I was going to do a website for Mud Lab, but I don't know. I mean, I think, some people come in and they're like, is this a pop-up? And I'm like,
it does kind of look like a pop-up.
It kind of looks like a pop-up. It might, this might be the first home of Mud Lab. Mm-hmm. And Mud Lab might be the first name. But For Here Please is really the nonprofit that we want to move forward with. So you plan on opening more locations? Probably not. No? Maybe. I mean, depending on if we get a grant or two. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you working to get a grant? I write grants every now and then when I have a spare moment. Yeah. But the problem with grants is, they're so time consuming. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a grant. I guess what would be really nice right now is to have an angel investor. We have one investor, which is my parents. But we're hoping for a couple more, because it would be nice to keep this going. And an angel investor is just a person who stays in the background, just gives you money, right? That's what they call it? Yeah, they don't want the money back later. Oh, okay. Nice. Which is really nice. Those are good. Yeah. Yeah, you should, well, I'm pretty sure you already know about this. You should go to, what's that, Palo Alto? Where all the fucking tech people are. Going to Menlo Park try to get money from them. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, because they just give away money for tax write-offs. My friend, he's creating this app to where, you know how when you get married, you have to search for a wedding dress and flowers and entertainment, mm-hmm. and dishes and shit. So he created an app to where it's a one-stop shop for everything. And wow. You go on his app and then you're I want to find some plates. It'll tell you go on this one app, it'll tell you where to get plates and shit from. Or I need flowers. Or you go on this one app, it'll tell you where to get flowers from. That's amazing. So he's creating that, and he went to Palo Alto with a business plan and literally raised $2 million within a few months. That's amazing. Because people out there, their idea is I have all this money, what can I invest in? And they don't want to miss out on the next big thing. They don't want to miss out on the next Instagram or the next Lyft. So they'll give you, what's $50,000 to a billionaire, right? That's $20. But for me, that would be a lot of money. Yeah, for us, it's a shit ton of money. But to them, it's it's nothing. So I'll give you $50,000 I'll invest $50,000 in this. And if you become big, that means he made a fucking huge, good decision. Yeah.
Imagine how many people passed on Instagram that could have invested in Instagram when Instagram was just getting started.
Man.
So yeah.
Most people must feel silly.
Exactly.
But what are you going to do? You can't predict the future.
Exactly. But if you got money to burn, I mean, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good luck on that. And this is the part of the interview where I let my guests, basically I promote whatever they want to promote. So if you have like I know you talked about it, but if you want to talk about it again, if you have like a event you want to promote, you want to get the word out, or like how people can get in touch with you, and where Mud Lab is located, and if you're interested in for here, please, yeah, just tell the people.
Okay. Well, we have a couple events that are coming up that we're excited about. We have a poker fundraiser on February 15th that'll allow us to kind of pay our operating costs if it's popular. So if you like playing poker, we'd love for you to come out February 15th. Tickets this week are only $50 and next week they're $100. Obviously, we're always looking for cafes that want to work with us to help their customers go plastic free. So if you know anyone who owns a cafe or is interested in reducing their waste, I would love to be connected to people at cafes. And then we're always looking for people to give our pasta to. We have quite a bit of extra pasta right now. So if you know a community organization that would benefit from getting a donation of free pasta, it's really healthy, it's delicious, and we're happy to bring that over to you. In addition, just spreading the word about Mud Lab is really helpful. Like whenever people come in and buy a book or get some plastic-free toothpaste or whatever it is, that's always helpful to our nonprofit. So please just come and visit us. We're at 3933 Telegraph. And then I guess finally, just, remember your reusables. We have some door hangers here. We don't do business cards, but we have door hangers, and it's just like a little sign that says, did you remember your keys, phone, wallet, reusables? And so if you need one of those, you can come get one here. And thank you so much, Jordan, for doing this. We really appreciate it. We're excited to be in the neighborhood.
All right. Well, you heard it from her first. Please support Mud Lab. Stop by, donate, buy something, get some pasta. They have a shit ton of it.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing. We're starting to do this thing. So since we're so close to BART, we're working with this group called Actera to pair people who might be a little bit bored on their commute with an elderly person who they can then have a conversation with. So in a couple weeks, we're going to be rolling that out. I think we're going to call it like Cuddly Commuter. We're still working on the name. But so if you want to like have an elderly person who might appreciate a phone call and you want to call them during your commute.
Oh, you got to call them. I thought they were going to be riding the BART with you.
No, they're not going to ride the
BART.
BART.
Old motherfuckers ain't going to be getting up, walking to the BART.
It's just going to be a conversation. But
Okay.
so if you want to do that, we'd love to have people come out and do that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird but strange idea. Could work. What if you get like an old grumpy person who's like,
I mean, old people are grumpy. I'm getting old. I'm grumpier every day.
I'm kind of grumpy too.
I'm getting up there in the grumpy years.
But go on her website. You can find all this information on there. Listen to what she said about the events. Support your local Oakland community business owners. Support Vanessa. She's very, very motivated and talented. And this is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. And we're out. You.